And we're back. God, I love saying that. Trek Talks rolls on, Dan, and we are so happy to be joined by three incredibly hardworking actors and John Billingsley in this panel.
I know it's pretty amazing, you know, as we're celebrating, or we just got done celebrating Enterprise 20, but we're continuing that celebration. It is so great to have Anthony Montgomery, of course, played Travis Mayweather, Connor Trinneer, Trip Tucker III. How you doing, Captain? That's my favorite phrase of the entire series. And Dominic Keating, of course, who played Malcolm Reed, all on Enterprise. It is great to see the three of you. I'm not going to say anything about Billingsley because we've been dealing with him for far too long. So, hi, Doc. How you doing? Thanks for being here, guys. It's great to have you. It's going to be a fun panel where we pretty much just crap on Billingsley the whole time. So let's get started.
For a good cause.
Yes, for a very good cause. In all seriousness, though, we've talked to a lot of folks in doing our podcast who have told us they truly love Enterprise. They've come to watch it either, in the years since it's gone off, or they've watched it multiple times since it was on the air. Streaming has helped it significantly. They talk about its unbridled optimism, which kind of surprises me. Are you guys kind of surprised to hear that now, some 20 years on?
We're like the Ted Lasso of...
Yeah, I wish.
No, not surprised, because that's what the beauty of what Gene did got us to this place. And the reason why people are connecting with our series and all of the other ones so much is because our world needs it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, no, I'm not surprised at all, actually.
I'm okay. Were we a particularly optimistic version of the franchise? I mean,
sometimes Scott was pretty optimistic. We were always trying to get him to pull his head out of his ass, as I recall. It was like, like, what, are you crazy, Captain? You can't go.
I don't remember Malcolm being particularly,
I was optimistic. It was my fucking catchphrase. Huh? I was optimistic. It was my fucking catchphrase.
You were. I mean, I just saw the pilot episode again.
Come on, you got to do it, John.
We have reason to be looking at it. It was amazing to see it 20 years and change on.
I've never.
John, your performance was very.
Fair to Midland.
Almost Jacques. What did you say, Connor?
Fair to Midland.
No,
it was. It reminded me of a sort of Jacques Tati character.
That's what
very.
That's what I was going for.
That's what you were going for. Yeah.
Don't hold back, guys. When I ask you, do you really have any resentment to Billingsley since he's the reason you guys got canceled after 4 seasons? I just want to know.
Hey, John is my brother, so I don't let people come at my brother like that. I don't know you like that, Dan.
Our relationship
shit about my family, man.
Our relationship is rooted in mutual abuse and acrimony.
Yes,
okay. See, I'm not privy to all that. Yes. So. John, I will go to battle for you. So I'm like, hold on, man. That's too much. That's too much John bashing right now.
In all seriousness, we've had the honor of working with John, put this whole thing together. And over the course of the last 3 months that we've been doing it, we've gotten to have a great relationship where as Bill and I do on our podcast, we just give each other crap all the time. So I should have warned you that was coming.
John gives way better than he gets. I'm just the really serious one. I don't have his rapier wit. I just get really serious. And I'm like, yo, man, stop talking shit about my brother. Like I'm that brother in the family. So,
It's true. It's true. It's true.
What have you been saying about John all day long? Wish I'd tuned in now.
We're already going to have the FCC on our butts for all the things we've been saying. So I'll just leave it at that.
Look, John got to cash a check, show up every now and then, and had so much time that he wrote a song about just how good it was.
Yes, he did. 6 days off and the check still come. Character actor in the sun. 6 days. The second verse is rarely sung. 6 days. Yes,
Dominic. Good little ditty that.
Dominic made me stop singing that song on one particular.
I did not.
You did. One grump. I didn't want to hear that song anymore. Do you remember that?
That sounds like Dominic. Yes.
I mean, the only thing that can be said in your defense is that you had to sit in the chair in the days you came to work for some hours. And,
so then So then
Whatever.
what do we say in your defense of you bitching in that EV suit? Because you weren't in that for hours.
Oh, I was. I did. Oh, come on.
Well, yeah, because eventually the
I
writers
did some
started.
serious man hours in that goddamn fucking
But
costume.
if you talk to the writers, what you don't realize is that people are like, I want to put Dominic in the EV suit again. I don't know what he did to piss
No
them
shit.
off. But it was like
Used to make my
Dominic goes out
blood
for a candy
just
bar, but he's got to put
crawl.
the EV suit on.
I'd
remember
been
when you
reading-
got-
I mean, the scripts I did read, I'd been casually reading them at home, and it would, it was just casually say they step out into their EV suits, and I'm like, oh fucking hell.
They were that
Literally,
comfortable.
I literally leaf through how many fucking, oh my god, there's 4 scenes in this sodding thing.
Yeah,
And
you've
it
already lost
was-
credibility, Dominic, because you never read any of the scripts. So give me
I
a
read,
moment.
I read some that I needed to read. I will
Yeah,
say
you know
this.
Yo,
The great
you
thing,
read
though-
Shuttle Pod 1.
I read Shuttlepod 1.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. And I have seen one episode where I'm on the bridge and I say something about some species, and in the episode it's totally the wrong. I know I got it wrong. What I said, the way I said it was hopelessly. No one came up to me. Jan didn't come up to me and said, "Hey Dom, the way you're saying that about the Andorians, it's not right." No one said a word to me, but I know that in my meager understanding of what the hell was happening in that episode, not a clue.
There you go.
And,
There you go,
completely-
Trekkies out there. There's an Easter egg for you. Go find that episode Dom's talking
And
about.
a memoir title, My Meager Understanding
My
by
meager
That's right.
understanding. Yeah.
Connor. It is so lovely to see you. I have to say, forgive me, I'm usurping your function as a moderator, but one of the things that I most enjoyed about our cast, and I particularly enjoyed talking to Dominic and Connor, because every time I talked to them, you were always reading an amazing book.
Mm.
You guys are big readers, and I just
Not
always
bad.
love. No, it's true. You were always. It's like I could always say, "What are you reading?" They'd be like, "Oh." What are you reading?
I finally picked up Donna Tartt's second novel, isn't it?
The one about
friend.
Yeah, I love that book.
I'm halfway through it.
Yeah.
The reason I hadn't picked it up is everyone said, well, it's not really that
Everybody
great.
says it's
And
their
I love
worst.
it. I'm really into it.
Tell me after you finished it what you think.
I will. Yeah,
I love
I'm
that. I
halfway
loved it.
through as of
I loved
last night.
I've taken to I took the New Yorker again, so I'm swamped in the New Yorker.
Right.
I still have them from the Bush administration. So if you go
What was
backwards,
that book that you recommended when we were all in Vegas on the panel? Connor recommended one about the trees all connecting to one another.
The Overstory.
What's it called?
The Overstory.
The Overstory. And what was the, you mentioned one, John, that was it a Asian American story in some respect?
I don't remember, to be honest with
I
you.
wish I'd written it down, because I remember you saying it was particularly, and I know how voracious you are. You said it was really quite one of the best ones you'd read in recent years.
I know, that's interesting. It doesn't ring a bell.
Maybe I'm throwing you a red herring with the Asian
I am
American
trying to
thing.
read Gravity's Rainbow. I don't know if you've ever tried.
I haven't heard that title.
Thomas Pynchon, who is sort of like
Oh,
Ulysses,
yeah.
like a Joyce in terms of like,
Yeah.
he's just trying to clamp your brain in a vice, and it's like, Jesus. Almost there. 100 pages away. I'm gonna have to go back and read it a second time because it's so dense, but amazing.
You've got more patience than I have with that sort of density.
I don't surf.
Speaking of dense, Bill.
Wow. So what did this become? Take shots at the host.
Yeah, this is how I get back at them. I just take the conversation into channels that I know they can't follow.
Got it.
And that's largely because we're not bright.
It's a long game, Anthony. I play the long game with this.
Understand. It's a marathon, not a sprint, brother. Got it.
Wow. How
What
to
do you-
follow that up?
I know. I see. I just usurped the moderator function. What are you
okay.
guys? What are you guys up to these days? What are your projects? You acting?
Well, I'll let Connor answer that.
Yeah, when they take us, I do play Jim the Bomb Guy on 911 a couple times a year. But
Excellent.
You plant bombs? That's
no, I take them away.
Oh, okay.
No,
Okay, what a strange recurring role.
Right,
The
exactly.
bomb guy.
And then Dom and I are doing a podcast, Shuttle Pod, and we are doing sort of interview as well as commentary on episodes and a
It's
portion.
going to be a hybrid show, really. Sort of, it's going to be filmed and it'll go up on YouTube.
Shit.
And so it'll be a sort of podcast / show, and we'd love to have both of you guys on.
Great.
We're going to be
portion of our proceeds, should we make them,
yes,
straight to the Hollywood Food Coalition.
yes, indeed.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at
So
that,
we just
John.
got
Money's coming in
started. We
everywhere.
launch on February 13th because it's the auspicious 20th anniversary of the night Shuttle Pod 1 aired.
What a beautiful show that talk about. You guys were talking before about your favorite episode. I think that is probably for many of us. It was certainly one of my favorite episodes.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, it was a particularly good one for all
it was
of
just
us,
lovely.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was. It was just lovely.
It
No,
was,
it was just good for you, but it was really good. No, I mean, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you know.
Yeah, it sucked for me. I didn't like do shit. I did sing 6 Days Off and the check still comes, but it was good for you.
I particularly like the one where we all had to fall asleep and you just wandered around the ship in your underwear for a week.
That was my favorite.
That
Yeah.
was.
But if
That was
people
a
want to check it out
cracker.
and find a way into it, just you can look it up on Twitter and Instagram to find out more information at Shuttlepod Show, both Instagram and Twitter, and they can be a part of this and a part of continuing to donate to Hollywood Food Coalition.
I love
There we go.
that. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
Anthony, you are working all the time these days, it feels like.
I am Tuesday, I will be shooting a short film that is with a new and up and coming director, but it's a very powerful short because I don't do any of those. And that one is going to be a fun role. I'm going back on Wednesday for season 4 of the recurring role I do on The Family Business. It's a series that airs on BET Plus. Based on a New York Times best-selling novel of the same name. And I am at 92,000. All of you guys will appreciate this. 92,267 words on my autobiography.
Whoa.
I am.
That takes you up to the 7th grade too. So this is going to be quite.
I am I talk about some very painful and some very real truths. The chapter I'm on right now is talking about Hollywood. The book is essentially done. So I'm literally going through right now and doing my last edit. When I'm done with these last, it's 276, 78 pages right now. When I'm done editing these last 84, I'll send it out to the editor, my lawyer, a couple of people that I trust. When they get it back to me, my lawyer is going to get it to Simon & Schuster to see about like pushing it in a big way. I don't want to promote it like I did my graphic novel. I want to put the machine behind it because I feel like, I've overcome a lot in my life, and it's called Surviving My Life. I changed the title, and there's a lot that I've overcome. Racism in Indiana, the abuse that I grew up with, like a real life. And it's nothing for anybody to, oh, Anthony, I'm so sorry, because I have gone to therapy and I've made my peace with all of those things. And I've got a fantastic life, even though it's a struggle. So I don't live in the pain of what that is, but I know that what I've written will connect with somebody because there's a world of people in pain right now. So when I get it done, John, you are the main person that I have to have read it, but it's got to be ready before I put it in your hands. So it'll be coming to you soon.
I have a horrible reputation, I think, as being like an acid critic.
Not at all. Not at all. You have the best one because you pushed me to think outside of a lot of boxes that I never even thought I was inside of. So
I don't have an autobiography, but I do have a title, which is Suitably Rumpled.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Anthony, I got to say, listening to you right now and talking about your book and the struggles that you had, it takes me back to 2014, which was when Bill and I went to a convention in Boston, and you and other members of the Enterprise cast were there, and you were talking about similar things on stage. And it was at that point that I looked at Bill and said, I'm going to go tell my story to Anthony. And I was I've told other guests on our podcast this from Star Trek, without Star Trek, I would not be alive today. I'm one of the people that can say that Star Trek literally saved my life. I was seconds away from committing suicide one night, and I didn't because an episode of Star Trek was on, and I stopped and listened. I had been a fan a lot longer. I told you that story in 2014, and I'll never forget that as I was walking away and the crowd was clapping, you came to the very front of the stage, stopped me to shake my hand and thank me for telling that story. So I think what you're saying right now about the book that you're going to be putting out and your struggles is going to be very important for people like me who had struggles back then to help get through that. It was the first time I had ever told that story publicly about what happened to me.
Wow.
And to this day, I thank you for what you did. So I just wanted to say that before the
I
panel
appreciate
ended.
you, brother. Thank you so
Thank you.
much, man. Thank you.
Oh, we all got so serious now. This is
And,
great.
since you're on a serious note, and I don't mean to segue this into the Hollywood Food Coalition, but I think one of the things that really moves me about the nature of the work that we do is that everybody who's experiencing homelessness or deprivation or poverty, 1 in 5 American kids is food insecure at any given day, is that there's so many ways of thinking about mental illness. And we think about it, in terms of loony bin. Mental illness is anxiety, mental illness is depression, mental illness is fear. Mental illness is anything that gets in the way of your being able to actually lead kind of a healthy, happy life. We pay so little attention to all the different ways in which mental illness needs to be addressed. And I do think you're absolutely right. The stories that people can tell from an honest place and an honest point of view about what they went through and how they got better. It's thank you, Anthony. It's a critical thing to throw into the communication,
Yeah, indeed.
And
Somehow it seems to get harder as you get older.
Well, and because I was one of those,
The more you know.
kids. I was one of those kids that you're talking about. We were poor growing up. People know who my grandfather was, but my grandfather passed away. My mom struggled, poor. She was on welfare multiple times. Like, people will learn this in the book. So that's why when you first told me about the Hollywood Food Coalition, I said anything that I can do, I will always, whatever, to help people. But I know you guys are helping children. You are making a difference in these people's lives. So if I can take what I've done in my career and help lend something to that, we can't fix everything in the world. We all know that. But what you guys are doing is making such an impact. What we do as artists, if we can use that and add to something that's making an impact, then we'll make the stuff a little bit better. And that's literally all that we can do. We can't fix everything, but we can fix some things. And you guys are amazing at Hollywood Food Coalition and doing what you do. So bravo and kudos to you guys for that.
Well, this has been pretty meaningful to me. Just the idea that, I'm repeating myself, but I've been here for 8 hours, is that when we started asking people whether they would do it, everybody said yes. And to see this family of folks come today, from the headliners like a Jerry Ryan and a Jonathan Frakes and some of the showrunners and Brian Fuller, to some of the people from behind the scenes, for everybody to say, yep, absolutely. And to talk about all the cool things they do and all the organizations they support. It's pretty meaningful. I unfortunately have to wrap it up, but you guys, I love you so much. And I'm sorry we didn't go 7 years, if only because I could have gotten 3 more years in your company.
Love you, John.
On the other hand, getting to take that rubber head off is
I wish we could have said we all did 7 and you got fired after 4.
So thank you. I miss you boys so much. You, the gassy dog, the jut-jawed captain, the millionaire and his wife, and the rest. We're almost at the end. We have saved, I dare say, the best for last. The extraordinary Ms. Jerry Ryan will be joining us for our last panel.
Awesome.
In television, there's always a rerun. We had one rerun we wanted to show you at the very end for those people who weren't at the very beginning, which is an overview of the Hollywood Food Coalition. We can't thank you enough for your support. A reminder that Rod Roddenberry and the Roddenberry Foundation will match up to $30,000. We're getting very, very, very close to that. If you can keep throwing a few more shekels, a few more coins into the pot, if we get to that magic number, it will blow my mind. I'm speechless with enthusiasm.
You'll put your pants on.
Don't stand up.
Don't stand up.
Dan, I thought you were about to say, don't put your pants on. I'm like, Dan, that's not what you say.
Yeah.
Who paid for him to take them off? That's what I want to know.
This will live in perpetuity. So if you didn't, tell your friends, because if they watch it, they can still donate. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Hofoco.org is our website. And I am Jay Billingsley 60 if you want to follow me and hear more and more